Hi there, my name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. If you are one of my regular viewers, you have heard me cover Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. And because I covered the special edition version, it had almost every song on Lies on it, except for One in a Million, so I have covered every song except for One in a Million as well. Off of Lies, but that was all in the Appetite one. And this is the third part of a triple shot, and I covered both Illusions in the first two parts. You can go back and watch those. That means we only have one album left I can cover. Chinese democracy time, everybody. Chinese democracy time. That's right. Here we go. So, right away, you're probably going to think, oh, shit, he's going to rip into this one. Nope, not at all. This album definitely has grown on me. Buddy of mine, Facebook buddy anyways, used to work together. When we were working together at FVC, him and I were having a discussion about... this album dropped at the same time as Metallica's Death Magnetic. And me and him were having a debate over which album would actually hold up better over time. He swore that this one would hold up better. Steve, I agree with you. I think this one ended up holding up better. Death Magnetic does hold up quite well, and I will be getting to that because I know I haven't been doing anywhere near enough Metallica covers yet, or reviews yet. But Death Magnetic is a fantastic album. It still holds up well. I really think it does. This one, I believe, holds up a little better, though, and the reason why this one holds up a little bit better to me... Now, back then, no. I still think me back then would still say that Death Magnetic could hold up better. Even, I still almost want to say it, but the reason why is this one's a little more diverse than Death Magnetic is. I'm not as angry as I was when Death Magnetic came out. That's part of that angry thrash heavy metal kind of stuff. And you have to be angry for a lot of that album. This one, you don't have to be. Now, my absolute biggest complaint on this album is Axl Rose's voice. Absolute biggest complaint on this album. But I think Axl Rose is literally the worst part of Guns N' Roses. He always has been, he always will be. If you've watched my past reviews, I know I don't do it as much anymore because I got stuff in the way. I usually have the Funko Pops behind me when I'm doing it. I have Duff. I will not buy Axl, and they never released Steven Adler or Izzy Stradlin as Pops. If they had released Steve or Izzy as Pops, I'd pick up both of them as well. I will not pick up Axl. I won't support Axl. I'm sorry. I really think that the guys, when they got back together and did Velvet Revolver, I think after Scott Weiland passed away, I think they should have replaced Scott Weiland with somebody else, and they should have just gone back out on tour again, and they never should have redone Guns N' Roses. But theoretically, there's a new album coming from them, and it's supposed to hopefully contain the original band, or at least, Slash and Duff. We'll see how it goes. First song I heard, not too bad, but before we get into what potentially could happen with a new album, let's talk about this album. Guns N' Roses' Chinese Democracy. I already mentioned how I don't like Axl's voice that much on here. But I do like the lyrics. I do like the music. I do like the way everything's arranged. Yes, it took forever to make this album. Do I think it was worth the wait? No. No, the album was not worth the wait. But I do actually enjoy listening to the album when I put it on. The album opens up with Chinese Democracy, title track for the album. It's a good tune. It starts off the album really nice. I really enjoy where it goes into. That's kind of where I go with that. Then we get into Shackler's Revenge. I really enjoy Shackler's Revenge. The problem is, I never know the damn name of the song when it comes on. This album suffers from that major when you're not necessarily going to know which song is which 100% because they don't always kind of line up the same, or they're not easy to pick out. It's not like the next song, better. Yes, better. You can absolutely tell the song's called better. Better was the first single to come off this album, and it was the one that got the album postponed again. Because when Better came out, started getting some traction, some airplay, and they were testing it, everybody was like, it's fucking shit. Better is still, to me, one of the worst songs on the album, and I still can't believe that it was released as the test run song or a single or anything like that. Horrible choice. I don't think it's a horrible song, but I don't think it's a great song either. It's also at this point you start noticing a bit of a trend in this album, and the trend that I personally picked up on was this album. Once again, Axl needs to go get some psychiatric help, because this whole album to me almost was a cry out for help. It was either he's fucking miserable because everybody fucking abandoned him, or he's miserable because he chased everybody away, or he's angry at everybody because he feels they abandoned him, or he feels like he's going to have to outdo everybody because of this or because of that, or blah, 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 blah. A lot of that on this album. So there are points where I kind of want to smack Axl a lot. After Better, we go into Street of Dreams. I don't mind Street of Dreams. Street of Dreams is a good tune. It's one of those ones when you're listening to it, it's a good, fun song. When you're not listening to it, it's, whatever. If the World is really, really cool. I really dig that one. Axl's fucking whine. If the world would end today. That's fucking annoying. And it's no wonder he destroyed his throat and had to go get surgery, because just doing that little joke version I just did, man, that hurts. But the song If the World, I actually really enjoyed. I really love the rhythms on it. I love the vibe on it. A really cool sounding tune. Really, really cool sounding tune. That goes into There Was a Time, which that's another one where it really feels like, it's him having therapy over, everything that happened with GNR. But I do enjoy There Was a Time. Great music song. Catcher in the Rye. I enjoy it when it's playing. I don't think about it when it's not playing. It's another one of those songs also where, yes, the song title is said in it, but you don't really pick it up as that should be the song title. So sometimes, you can get a little thrown off. Scraped. I'm blanking. I know I enjoy it when I listen to it, but I'm honestly blanking. Riyadh and the Bedouins. I'm not even sure how to say any of that. I know I enjoy it when I listen to it, but once again, Then we get to Sorry. Once again, we're back to another song that definitely sounds like it's about the old band. I really dig Sorry. I think it's a really good song. It's enjoyable. At the end of the day, it's enjoyable. Then we go into IRS. I really dig IRS. There's the build-up in it and stuff like that. It's just really, really, really cool. And I really totally get into it. The only thing is IRS kind of, the way IRS flows into the next song, which flows into the next track after that, I kind of start losing track really fast. IRS is really good, but the way it flows into Madagascar, and then later This I Love, those three songs, they really just kind of blur when I'm listening to it all in a row. And I honestly can't distinguish, not to say I can't distinguish between the three. They're three different songs. But it's like having this nice, long, epic-y kind of thing going on. Even going in the last song, even the last 4 tracks, okay? So you got IRS, Madagascar, This I Love, and Prostitute. The way the 4 of them all kind of flow together, they really just kind of flow together, where you get this really long, great, continuous works going on. And the only reason why I can't get more into Madagascar and This I Love is I really tune out Axl's voice. I really do. I listen to it and I just hear Axl's voice is kind of like another instrument that's going on. Because the way he the notes he hits and the way he hits the notes, I might have to go get my hearing checked. I swear to God he's hitting ranges I'm not hearing anymore. That's not true. You know, it's the way he does his singing. I like my words more enunciated when my vocalists are singing, not so much whined and drawn out. Every complaint you would ever hear me make about Stone Temple Pilots, Scott Weiland specifically, his vocal style, or Lane Stanley from Alice in Chains, especially Lane Stanley from Alice in Chains, Lane Staley. No. I don't like that whine. I don't like that drone. That was the part of grunge that sucked. And Axl doing it on here, I have the same complaint. Then we get the last song, Prostitute, and it finishes off the album excellent. I really love Prostitute. I think it's a great way to finish off the album. I really think it gives the whole album a great close. Musically is fantastic. There really isn't a bad song on this album. Production-wise, this album, production better sound damn good for how long it took to produce the whole thing. I believe this goes down as one of the most expensive albums in history to make because of how long it took to make it. And if I remember correctly, I think the record label just told Axl, do it, we're releasing it, that's it, we're done. We've had enough of this shit. It is a piece of art. It is a wonderful piece of art. The music is absolutely freaking amazing. The only downside to this album to me is Axl Rose. That's it. That was always my complaint about this album right from the get-go. As soon as I heard it, I called it the Axl Rose Show. And that's what it is. It's the Axl Rose Show. It wasn't a Guns N' Roses. If you compare this album here to these 2 albums here, oh man, that hurts. One album in this hand. Okay, if you compare this album here to these 2 albums, this is not a rock album. These 2 are rock albums. There are a few songs on here that one could say are not rock songs, like My World. You know, and when you listen to songs like Estranged and Coma, you can definitely see where Axl wanted to go with this album. And November Rain, you know, the longer, more symphonic, more instrumental, more heavy-duty, epic-y kind of vibes and feels. Even if they're shorter songs. Or longer songs, it doesn't matter. That's what Axl really wanted. That's what Axl gave everybody. I really look forward to the next album coming out. If Duff and Slash are back at least. I'd really like to see Matt back for the next album as well. And if they can't get Izzy, they should get Gilby. I love Gilby. I think Gilby is the most underrated person who had to take way too much crap because he was the replacement guitarist for Izzy. Izzy is amazing as well. Don't get me wrong. Izzy going back for a little bit, I don't think will ever happen, but it would be really cool for an album to have. If they could get the original 5 for one album, that would be mind-blowing. Don't think it'll happen. But this album is enough to make me look forward to another album, even if it is just another Axl Rose show. Once again, in the long run, this album, Steve, if you ever see this, you're right. This one held up better than Death Magnetic. I'll give you it. But that's only because Death Magnetic has 2 songs I flat out detest. Chinese Democracy, I can play the whole way through and not give a crap. Otherwise, those are my views, everybody. I hope you've liked the GNR triple shot. We're basically done on GNR. I'm going to take this moment to make sure that we're totally done on GNR. As I said, when I covered Appetite for Destruction, Lies was part of that because it was on the second disc as the special edition set, minus 1 in a Million. So let's talk about 1 in a Million. 1 in a Million, is it highly offensive? Yes. Do they use words that are inappropriate? Yes. But if you listen, really, truly listen to the words that are being said in it, do those words that are used make sense? Yes. Are they meant to be offensive? No. Does the song realize they're offensive? Yes, because the song flat out says, I'm just a poor white boy, leave me be. Or close to that line. So, do I like 1 in a Million? It's my favorite fucking song off of the Lies album. I absolutely love 1 in a Million. But I love 1 in a Million because of the rawness, because of the honesty, because of the, I don't want to say purity, but almost purity. Like, you know, it's really that naivete of someone from this small little white people town, like, you know, because back in the 80s, that was a big, you know, normal. You know, you can come from a little town in, I believe it was Iowa or something like that, you know. You move to LA, man, that's a culture shock. And, you know, the words that they use, you have the N-word, and, you know, Slash was never exactly thrilled about that use in there, but even Slash himself says in his book, which I've also read, that, you know, Axl was a white boy from a small town. That's what the song was about. And then there's the F slur for a burning pile of sticks or a British cigarette. And that is the one word. I actually hate that word more than I hate the N-word. And I hate the F slur so badly because it actually is inciting violence. You know, if you don't know where the phrase came from, the British cigarette or a bundle of sticks. The British cigarette got his name from the same spot as well, the bundle of sticks. Those bundles of sticks, way back when, were called that word. That's what they were called. And you threw those bundles of sticks onto fires during witch trials. And if they suspected that someone might have homosexual tendencies, they got thrown on the fire with the other bundles of sticks. And that is where that word came from, and that is why I hate that word in that context. Now, when 1 in a Million was done, we're talking about 1988, that the album at least was released. A song might have been recorded before that. You're talking the middle of the beginning of the AIDS crisis and epidemic. I've talked about the AIDS crisis back in '88 in one of my previous videos because the AIDS crisis was insane. One of my early confessions of a domestic engineer videos, I talk about it, my personal experiences seeing it in that, and there was a lot of fear out there because of it and a lot of scariness. And basically 1 in a Million is a bad reactionary song. But once again, I love it because of the goddamn rawness and honesty of it. I don't particularly, I personally, I would do the song and love to do the song live. I would just change some of the lyrics a little bit. I would. But you could do that, still make it offensive. No matter what you do, it'd still be offensive. And when I say change the lyrics, I'm not saying, you know, instead of using the N-word, we're going to say black people. You know, I would, you know, take out that altogether and switch in a different, not even a different race, okay? The idea is to get rid of that, you know. But you can switch out some of those things. Like, you could switch out the N-word for politicians. You could switch out the F slur for, you know, not religious groups, but say priests, if you want, because they're not nice people when they do child molesting. So, so there are things you could switch out and keep the same exact vibe of the song. I've actually played with it a couple times because I've thought about it, because I really dig the idea behind 1 of a Million. I really do. I hate to say it, but I dig it. Anyways, that's the bonus content. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think, even though I know I've already said that. Like button, share button, subscribe button. They're all there. Peace, love, take care.